Hari Om and welcome to all the divine Atmajyotis to today's contemplation on the fourth chapter of Bhagavadgita based on the talks by sriprabhuji, Purna Yoga Darshana talks. So we have framed questions on the shlokas of the fourth chapter and we are going and contemplating. So for today, the group of the shlokas that we have considered are 4.14 and 4.15 to begin with. So let's first remind ourselves of the 4.14 and 4.15. Yeah. So, namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mam yobhijanati karma bher na sabadhyate. Activities do not taint me, nor do I desire the fruits of action. One who knows me in this way is never bound by the karmic reactions of work. एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वेरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वे पूर्वतरं कृतं. Knowing this truth, even seekers of liberation in ancient times performed actions. Therefore, following the footsteps of those ancient sages, you too should perform your duty. So this is what Shri Krishna is saying, that there is no tainting even when he is acting, nor does he desire for the fruits of action. So based on that, the questions that we have framed are, what does liberation mean? Generally, liberation is thought in terms of at the time of death. Mukti. Oh, I died. Somebody died. Or mukti sigli. Let them attain eternal peace and freedom is generally the way we have come to know about liberation, mukti, in society. However, here Krishna is discussing liberation during action. He's saying that when they know me thus, he has described a couple of qualities, and he's saying when they know me thus, then they are in freedom. So what does it mean? And based on this, what is our understanding, your viewpoint on ideal way of performing action? So let's contemplate on these two questions together. Padma amma, ನೀವು ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
What does liberation mean? Why is Krishna discussing liberation during action? ಇದು ಕರ್ಮ ಬಂಧನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಕರ್ಮ ಬಂಧನ ಒಂದು ಬಂಧನ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಈ ಕೆಲ್ಸ, ನನಗೆ ಈ ಕೆಲ್ಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಫಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ಫಲವನ್ನ ನಾನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದು ನಂದು, ಈ ಕೆಲ್ಸ ನಂದು, ಈ ಫಲ ನನ್ನದು ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅದು ಏನಿದ್ರು ಸೀಮಿತತೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ ಬಂಧನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಉಂಟಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲ್ಸಗಳು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತವೆ, ನಾನಿಲ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ಜ್ಞಾನ ನನಗೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಡ, ಅದು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಅಂಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಆತ್ಮ ಕರ್ತೃವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಭೋಕ್ತನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಆತ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಭಾಗವೂ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಆತ್ಮ ನಾನು ಜೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮ, ನಾನು ಕರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂಟುಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಮೊದಲು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಅದರ ಪಾಡಗೆ ಅದು ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆಯೋ ಆ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಆ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದು ತನ್ನಾಗೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋ ಇದು ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಕರ್ತೃನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಭೋಕ್ತನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ಅದು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮ. ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಪೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕರ್ತೃನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಭೋಕ್ತನ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ನಾವು ನಿದ್ರಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ನಿದ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಮಲಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಕನಸು ಕಾಣ್ತಾನೆ. ಮಲಗಿರೋ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ತೃನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇವನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವನು ಕರ್ತೃ ಹೇಗಾಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಭೋಕ್ತನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವನಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಾನೆ ಅದು ನಡೆಯೋದು. ಹಾಗೆ ಆತ್ಮ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕರ್ಮ ಬಂಧನದಿಂದ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಹೊಂದ್ತಾನೆ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅವನು ಸುಖಮಯವಾದ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇದೆರಡು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಪದ್ಮಮ್ಮ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸರ್.
ಪದ್ಮಾಜಿ.
So what does liberation mean? Why is Krishna discussing liberation during action? I think Padmaji covered all of it. However, here I think liberation is referring to liberation from the fruits of the actions. Any small action that we perform, even in our day-to-day life, there is an expectation that we have from that particular action. Whether it is so there is always a result of an action, right from we wake up to doing our daily tasks, like simple tasks like brushing our teeth or taking bath. We have an expectation like, okay, if I brush my teeth, it should be clean, it should not have decay. All these things are expectations that we are having from even small activities. So when we do something for others, naturally we have more expectation regarding what should the result of that action be, or what can that person for whom I am doing now will do for me in return. So all the actions we do kind of have a barter system. What am I going to get back instead of this? So here when he talks about liberation, I think it is the liberation from these expectations and results which he is talking about. Because when we have expectations, then it can be either favorable or unfavorable, resulting in, first of all, bondage and also suffering because of that. If it is not according to our expectation, we have a suffering. And if it is anyway not having suffering also, there is still bondage coming from that, and which leads to further karmic actions for us and for everyone involved. So that is the liberation that he is talking about, I feel here. So what is the ideal way of performing action? So the ideal way of performing action is to not have any doership towards it. Like Padmaji mentioned, things are happening on their own. I am just an instrument in that. With the understanding of that, then we don't claim any doership towards anything that I did this or I performed this. There is no way we can perform any action. It is all happening on its own. The only thing we can do in all this which is going on is have an intention of Jagathitayacha. What can I do for you that can elevate you and also myself? This is one intention that we can have behind whatever we perform. And when we perform with such an intention, anything that is performed through us will always have a beneficial effect only for us and others. So that is the ideal way of performing action, I feel. So when you have that bhava, then there is no bondage also resulting from that action. That is how we can be free from all the cycle of the karmic actions. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Padmaji. When we talk about liberation, there must also be some kind of a bondage. So the question can also be seen in terms of what is the bondage, and if something is bonded, who is that who is bonded? Isn't it? Two very important questions. What is the bondage and who is in bondage? So, who is in bondage? If that question is asked, generally the answer is, I feel I am in bondage. I want mukti. Because that is a statement, right? That is where it has all begun. I want mukti. I am in bondage. So then, therefore, it is very important to understand what is a bondage made up of and who is this I who is in bondage. These are the only two essential elements. Because ultimately in life, you are there and you are doing something. That's all it is, not to life. Only two things. You are there and you are doing something in life. So that whole doing is what you and I refer as action. So the question, first and foremost, that you and I have to ask ourselves is, okay, I want freedom. All right, perfect. Okay. So which means that I am in bondage. Okay, what is bondage made up of? That's what the natural question comes to. Okay, so what is bondage made up of? In the cycle of action, I am acting and I want something out of that action. So what is the cycle of action? I want something and I'm acting for it. And when I get it, that is what I refer as I did it, so I got it. So there is some kind of a sankalpa, which is nothing but what I want. Then there is something like a karma, which is the action towards making the sankalpa happen. Then there is karma phala. There is a fruit of that action. This is a cycle, isn't it? Because I am saying I am in bondage while acting, or I am in bondage. So therefore, what is the bondage made up of? Who is acting? When I ask that question, so I am acting. So what is the action cycle? I have to naturally understand what is the action cycle. So action cycle is made up of the one who is acting. We'll examine that. And what is the action of the cycle of the action? So the one who is acting is saying, I want something, that is sankalpa. Then I'm doing something for it, that is a karma. Then I get something for that is a karma phala. So this is the three main aspects for the one who is acting. Who? I. For what? For the karma phala. Because that is what I want. Now, where is bondage in this? Where is bondage in this cycle? I am acting. So, for example, I want dosa. I got dosa. Am I feeling, I'm in pain? No. I wanted dosa. I got dosa. I'm happy. That is what you and I want. No. I want money. I got money. I'm happy. I want, beautiful husband or wife. I got it and I'm happy. I want children and I got it. I am happy. My children listen to me and they're very obedient. I'm happy. My children are number one in school. I'm very happy. So where is the problem? So the game of life, as you and I know, is not only about I want something and I get it, right? If every time whatever I want, I get it, then there is no source of worry at all. Then there is no problem at all. So the problem is in this game, in this cycle, there is also a failure that can happen. I want my children to listen to me, but you know what? They have become teenagers. They're not at all listening to me. I want money, but it is not enough. Whatever I'm getting is not enough. I want my neighbors to not throw things around, but they always keep throwing things around. So like that, there is one or the other what we can refer as issue with life, issue with what is happening in life, issue with the fruits I'm receiving. So when I get what I want, I have no problem. But the issue is when I get what I don't want, that is when I can get into the one who is saying, I want, gets into all kinds of turmoil. So the karma phala has two aspects to it. The karma phala could be according to your sankalpa, or karma phala may not be according to your sankalpa. So when it is according to your sankalpa, no issue at all. Wonderful. When the karma phala is not according to your sankalpa, that is where the issue is. This becomes the very first bondage, karma phala, the focus on the karma phala. So what does it mean? In a game, I want only success, I don't want failure. I want only winning, I want no failure. So this is the first and foremost fundamental issue in that particular person's thinking about life. So therefore, that person constantly feels agitated. Why? When something is according to the wish, okay. When something is not according to the wish, not okay. Therefore, the first bandhana or the first bondage. What is bondage? When I'm in bondage, I feel disturbed. I feel agitated. I feel irritated. I'm not happy. I don't feel, I have the freedom to move around. If you're in a prison cell, what happens? You cannot move at your own whims and fancies. You cannot eat masal puri, pani puri whenever your heart wishes to. You have to eat that chakki piece only. So especially you would have seen movies, no? In the chakki piece, usually there are creeping, crawling creatures also. So somehow you have to eat that only, no? So also in the movies they show you how they beat you, they bully you. So all that is there in the prison. That is what you must be feeling, no? That is why you want out of it, isn't it? So that Chucky piece prison that we see physically is for the so-called rogues of the society, is for the murderers, the thieves, the killers, the ones who are not at all following the norms of the society, isn't it? So when you and I feel bonded, when you and I feel I want freedom, then in some way, though not physically, in some way, we must also be feeling that I am in a prison. And in this prison, when I am not getting what I want, I have all these turbulences. So, like the beating in the prison or the not so good food in the prison, here, what is the beating? I feel agitated, I feel irritated, I feel angry, I feel anxious. What if I don't get what I want? So, therefore, the very first pill for this ill that Sri Krishna is giving is, Arjuna, you have the right to perform the duty, karma, but give up your attachment to the fruit of the action. Attachment to the fruit of the action. So karma phala, as we have already seen, has two aspects: success, failure, winning, losing. Whatever I wanted, I got it, or whatever I may not get it. So like that, karma phala, there is always two aspects to the karma phala, and there are two sides of the same coin. I may either get it or I may not get it. So when Sri Krishna teaches, give up your attachment to fruit of the action, by that, the mind, which is constantly brooding over, will I get it, will I not get it, will it happen, not happen, will I be successful or not, it stops becoming disturbed. The other way, the same effect can be obtained is when you learn to accept both success and failure. In life, My child may listen to me, may not listen to me. The dosa that I'm making may be praised by those who are eating, may not be praised by those who are eating. Both are possible. So when I see the nature of life, that in any game, there is both success and failure. And the very definition of success and failure is also within my mind. That's another issue. That's another topic. But when I learn to accept both success and failure, or when I learn to give up my attachment to success and no failure, either of these approaches will first and foremost relieve me from the constant pricking of will I win, will I win, will it be okay, will it be okay. So that's the first freedom from the bondage. So like I said, this is a cycle, no? Sankalpa, karma, karma phala. Then I must also be able to get freedom from the sankalpa and the karma phala, because this is what the prison is made up of. That is where I am not the doer is the teaching. So again, to who the teaching is? The one who is feeling I am bonded during action. The teaching is for him, the one who you think you are. I am a man, I am a woman, I am that, I am this. I am, my family is made up of all these wonderful achievers, and I should also achieve. So all these, whoever I think I am, for that person, the first teaching is give up the karma phala, or accept both the karma phala. Next important teaching is you are not the doer. You think you are doing, but that's just an illusion. Just examine the nature of how things are happening. So it is like saying that a air bubble, we all have played that soap bubble game. So, you're blowing the air and the bubble comes up. And some bubbles are small, some bubbles are big. And the bubble is thinking, oh, look at me, I'm such a nice bubble. Oh, wow, how wonderful I have become a bubble. But that bubble is being blown by the child, my dear. And that bubble will burst one day. Not one day. In that game, immediately you see, after some time, pluck, goes nowhere. The bubble is no more there. So Sri Krishna is essentially saying, you and I, the whoever you and I think I am or you are, is claiming that I am doing. You are not the doer. So who is this I to whom this you are not the doer is being taught? Sri Krishna has also taught that it is the ego principle, Jivatma. I am somebody. That somebody is the one who is thinking I am doing. So Sri Krishna is teaching, hey somebody, you're not doing. Hey somebody, you cannot be the doer. Because look at the way the existence functions. Even to blow that bubble, the bubble is thinking, I am the one who has become such a big. Hey, there must be somebody who is blowing. There must be air. There must be other aspects that have made this bubble to appear. So it is to help that ego, to help that jivatma, to help that somebody to see the beauty of how any small event in existence is a harmony of all the elements in existence, not just one. Please see, in any given moment, any happening is because everything in the existence is participating completely in that moment. If any one of them is missing, it won't happen the way it is happening. It cannot happen. So, in a way, the entirety, the wholeness is in every little picture that is being painted in every moment. If every situation, every moment of life is like a frame of a movie, the movie is because all the colors are participating in every moment. However, are you and I seeing that is the only question. So Krishna, by saying you are not the doer, in a way is not making you feel less. In a way, he's elevating you and me. By realizing that I am not the doer, then how it is happening is the natural question, isn't it? If the bubble realizes, oh, the bubble is not because of me, then how the bubble is happening? When the bubble asks that question, the bubble can then see, oh, it's the air, oh, it's the soap, oh, it's the pipe, oh, it's the one who is blowing, oh, it's the atmosphere, oh, it is because of the space. So, in a way, for that bubble to appear and to be that beautiful, all of it is coming. The bubble got into an illusion that I am the bubble. Therefore, the bubble did not see the whole picture. In a similar way, by saying you are not the doer, Sri Krishna is not condemning you and me. Sri Krishna is elevating you and me, elevating you and me to see the whole picture, the wholesomeness of you and me. Arjuna, the trouble in life is by being bonded into I am the doer, the somebody who claims to be the doing. Realize you are not somebody. Just see this picture as nobody. See this entirety as a nobody. As a nobody, you can see this grand movie called Life Happening. See how all the pixels are coming together. See the sound, see the music, see the beauty in each frame. So he's elevating you and me. He's taking you and me up so that from up, you and I can see the picture completely. Because the frame can be seen as a prekshaka. If you are the scene, you cannot see the frame. So by moving the mind away from I am the doer, he is helping you and me to see the picture. And as you see the picture, whose sankalpa are you carrying out? Whose sankalpa are you carrying out? So, the sankalpa, there's a beautiful poem by Khalil Gibran. In that, there is a beautiful line in the Khalil Gibran's poem on children. There's a beautiful line. So, this poem you may already know on children. And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself." So, what does it mean? It can mean many things. So, it is like there's a wonderful bird, cuckoo bird. How do you know it's a wonderful bird? When it sings. How does it sing? Kuhu, kuhu. And that's what makes the bird feel wonderful. So, the mighty creator, why is he mighty creator? Because no two moments are alike. The creator's creation is so wonderful that nothing ever is ever the same. What a wonderful creativity. So you and I, as that somebody, can be the prekshaka, can be the vikshaka, can be the one who enjoys that wonderful creation. So that's the seed Sri Krishna is giving you and me. He's giving you and me the most powerful seat in the entire stadium. See, when you get involved with the game, sometimes you forget what the game is all about. To learn to see the game and at the same time to be the game, to play the game. So at the same time, you're playing the game, you're also the vikshaka of the game, and you're enjoying the game. And you're not the game at all. The game is simply a time pass, kadlekai. Sometimes, you go to some place, say a Lal Bagh, and you're waiting for your friend. And your friend is usually like typical Bangalore style. Sir, 5 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ sir. I'll be there in another 5 minutes. But that 5 minutes is like Brahma's 5 minutes. It is 50 minutes, 1 hour, 50 minutes, whatever. What do you want to do? These days, you will get lost in something called as a WhatsApp. You constantly are eating the kadlekai called WhatsApp. But some days, somebody comes in front of you, kadlekai, 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 kadlekai. And you see, nice, some 10 rupee. And he has so many kadlekais. And you take one, tongue, nice. Another one, tongue, nice. So like that, time pass kadlekai. So Sri Krishna is helping you and me to enjoy the game, to enjoy the movie, to enjoy the life. Because you and I are the life's longing for itself. As somebody, you and I are sons and daughters of the divine. And when you realize you are nobody, then you realize that there is only divine. There is no son and daughter. So to be able to see the completed picture and to become free from this prison cell, Sri Krishna is helping you and me. So therefore, what is the ideal way of performing the action? To perform the action means there's one another. Today it happens to be Khalil Gibran's day, in a way, because there's one another beautiful poem by Khalil Gibran on work. Khalil Gibran's beautiful poem on work. So this is nothing but Bhagavadgita said in another way. Then a plowman said, "Speak to us of work." And he answered, saying, "You work that you may keep pace with the earth and the soul of the earth. For to be idle is to become a stranger unto the seasons, and to step out of life's procession that marches in majesty and proud submission towards the infinite. Life is constantly moving, my friends, constantly moving. You and I can be part of that movement. When you and I want to remain out, impossible, because you and I are in the ocean called life's movement. When you work, you are a flute through whose heart the whispering of the hours turns to music. What a beautiful line. You are the flute, and every action is a music. Every outcome from you is a music. Which of you would be a reed, dumb and silent, when all else sings together in unison? Just look at it. The birds sing, the wind blows, the tree is constantly moving, the sun is shining, the water is flowing. Why are you and I stuck thinking about something called as, what happened? That is the bondage. Learn to move with the rhythm that is happening. Always you have been told that work is a curse and labor a misfortune. But I say to you that when you work to fulfill a part of earth's furthest dream, assigned to you when the dream was born, and in keeping yourself with labor, you are in truth loving life. And to love life through labor is to be intimate with life's inmost secret. You and I have the divine grace to be of some value in some beautiful movie that is happening. To be able to, even to say something, to be able to do something is the greatest blessing. You and I have been given that greatest opportunity. But if If you in your pain call birth an affliction and the support of the flesh a curse written upon your brow, then I answer that not, but the sweat of your brow shall wash away that which is written. You have been told also that life is darkness, and in your weariness you echo what was said by the weary. Who tells you that life is bad, sad? The one who must be feeling that way. And I say that life is indeed darkness, save when there is urge, and all urge is blind, save when there is knowledge. And all knowledge is vain, save when there is work. And all work is empty, save when there is love. And when you work with love, you bind yourself and to one another and to God. What a beautiful line. To work is to unite yourself with the divine. It's a divine opportunity. All the great masters have been saying, work is worship. Kaya kave kailasa. And what is to work with love? It is to weave the cloth with threads drawn from your heart. Please see from where the whole thing called as work is coming. Are you making dosa? Or are you actually in the form of dosa expressing your desire, your feeling to care for your child? What is that you are doing? Even as if your beloved were to wear that cloth. When your child enjoys that dosa and says, Amma, it's a nice dosa, how do you feel? You want that dosa to be enjoyed by your child. It is to build a house with affection, even as if your beloved were to dwell in that house. Why is it that you build a house? Why is it that you plant a tree? Why is it that you weave a cloth? Why is it that you make the food? It is to sow seeds with tenderness and reap the harvest with joy, even as if your beloved were to eat the fruit. It is to charge all things you fashion with the breath of your own spirit. The divine has only that motherly feeling for you and me. That is why the divine is the all giver. And to know that all blessed dead are standing about you and watching. Often have I heard you say, as you're speaking in sleep, he who works in marble and finds the shape of his own soul in the stone is nobler than he plows the soil. So the work is your own effort to bring out the divine within you. You are the one, the marble. There is already a divine in the marble. There's already a Krishna in that stone. There's already a Rama in that stone. Only you and I have to chip out what is not necessary. And work is that chipping out. And he who seizes the rainbow to lay it on cloth in the likeness of man is more than he who makes the sandals for our feet. But I say not in sleep, but in the o'er wakefulness of noontide, that the wind speaks not more sweetly to the giant oaks than to the least of all blades of grass. The divine grace is the same for a big oak tree as much as to the small blade of grass. And he alone is great who turns the voice of the wind into a song made sweeter by his own loving. The blade of grass is not feeling, oh, I am so small compared to the oak. It is doing what it is supposed to do. It is in its own sense full and complete. That small ant is no more sitting there thinking, ayyo, there is an elephant. What can I do in front of an elephant? No, it does what it is supposed to do. It is an ant, is an ant, is an ant, elephant is an elephant, is an elephant. You are you who you are. And you have the sweetest song to sing. And you are the sweetest thing to do in life. Work is love made visible. There's a divine, unknown, unknowable, How do you feel divine in life? When do you see your mother? Through her love, through her expression of love, through her care, through her little actions. When you think of your mother or your parents, what comes to your mind? Of course, their face, their body, but what else do you recall? It's the little things. You know how my mother used to make this, or you know how my mother used to hug me. Whatever, those little things. So it's a divine opportunity for you and me to be able to work, because work is the divine love within you being made visible. It's not a small thing. It's not a small thing. And if you cannot work with love, but only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take the alms of those who work with joy. Work with joy. If you cannot, you better not work at all. For if you bake bread with indifference, you bake a bitter bread that feeds but half man's hunger. Please see, when somebody does anything, cursing, crying, shouting, how does it feel? It becomes bitter bread. And if you grudge the crushing of the grapes, your grudges distills a poison in the wine. The work, the output, it is no more a wonderful divine offering. It becomes bitter poison. And if you sing though as angels, and love not the singing, oh, what a wonderful voice, but there is no feeling of love. So the child loves the mother's singing, not some wonderful Oscar Award winner's song. You muffle man's ears to the voices of the day and the voices of the night. That's not the song that anybody loves. The song that anybody loves is a song from the heart. The work that anybody loves is the work made out of love. The work that is out of joy, not for the joy. Out of love, not for the love. Hari Om.
Okay.
Yes, Ji.
Okay. What does liberation mean? So, liberation means like it is, not being bounded to anything, right? So it is something like freedom. So liberation is somewhat we can relate with whether we are uh, bounded or we are being, stuck with few things. It may be in samsara, for instance, just because we are there in samsara. So liberation, both in spiritual and when it comes to samsara, so not being attached to anything. So sometimes what happens is like we feel that like everything when we are doing any action, when we are performing any action, most of the times we just look at the results. Like what is the outcome, and then we keep doing the action. So there is a expectation out of the doing. Doing any action. So that is the time like when we get to either we get it may be success or failure. So with that we either get overjoyed or sometimes we get disappointed. So in that way we get bounded with whatever the task we are doing also. So what I feel is like liberation is like when we do the task, saying that I'm not the doer, I'm just an instrument being used for doing any action. So that is when like either I will not be much bothering about the result of the action and just accept it as Ishvara Prasada. So whatever is been uh, whatever is happening, whatever may come. So when I accept it that way, so I'm liberated here and now.
But otherwise, and also like after doing the action also, whenever we totally surrender to Bhagwan and say that it's all just because of you, and even the end result is also whatever is being, even sometimes if something bad is also happening, when we, irrespective of good and bad, when we are able to take it as Ishvara Prasada, so I feel that is like something mukti. Mukti means we are free. So in that way, I relate that. So nobody would like to be bound by any of the things. Like whenever we are being told, or whenever we are being, um, uh, I mean, dictated, we don't like it actually. So nobody likes bandhana. So everybody wants to be free. So in that way, whenever we, according to whatever Krishna says in Gita, so when we give up that doership and enjoyership, and take everything as Ishvara Prasada, and finally surrender, or say everything as Krishna Arpana, and we are not taking anything to our account. So that is when we can be liberated. So that is what I feel liberation means.
Very nice. Very nice. So, what do you feel? Are you liberated or are you in bondage?
I'm in the process, Vijayji. Like day to day, I mean, whenever I'm in satsang, or whenever I hear to such talks, definitely the day or two, I definitely put it in action and I follow it. But going forward, like, I mean, sometimes there are at times I get deviated also, and I get disturbed also. But then I have realized that it is not that just one day I listen to, and then it is going to be there for ever with me. So that manana shravana needs to be keep happening, and with along with that manana nididhyasana also I'm supposed to practice. So practice in the sense it should become a way of life. So that is when this liberation also will be there with us every time.
Wonderful. Very nice. Correct. At the end of the day, it has to become a natural. It is natural, but
It is natural actually, but uh, I mean, whatever is natural, we with the learnings where we have been exposed to, or I mean, the society, or like whatever. So I mean, that is all lost, and we have learned something else which is not natural. So that is why we have been suffering, I feel.
very nice. Correct. It's more of an unlearning through
Yeah,
practice.
unlearning has to happen
Unlearning.
now. I mean, more than gathering. Uh, even knowledge also, only when it becomes wisdom, and when we get the experience of it, is more when we get to follow. And for that, like whatever we have encountered, maybe ups and downs or the troubles, so everything is so perfect. I mean, only just because of that, maybe we are here today where we are.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Very nicely said, Ashaji. Anything else, Ashaji?
uh, no, Vijayji, just I'm in the process, Vijayji. Just getting to know, and then I mean, I've started slowly doing the manana. I mean, earlier also I used to do, but that was in a different way. But now slowly, I'm just realizing things with day-to-day experiences as well. So it's more of like whenever whatever the food we take, so maybe after some time again we feel that hunger, and then again we are supposed to take, right? So it is all more or less like that. So every day, every minute, maybe that constant remembrance, maybe we tend to forget at times, but that constant remembrance is the key. And maybe that is why also the japa, and then whatever we chant is all so much relevant for us.
Correct, Ji. Very nice. Thank you very much, Asha Ji. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om, Vijay.
Hari Om. Is there anything more? Anybody else? Okay. Then let us end the contemplation on 4.14 and 4.15 here. Hari Om. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.